Dio's world just got a whole lot cuter, and EXOLs everywhere are already clearing space on their shelves. BLITZWAY Entertainment has officially unveiled a brand new figure package centered on DohKyungsoo, bringing together three characters that longtime fans have grown to adore: Dio himself, rendered in an adorably stylized chibi form, alongside his two quirky companions ZZirang-e, the perpetually sleepy owl, and Charles, the endearingly grumpy peach-shaped heart. Together, the trio forms a set that feels less like traditional merchandise and more like a tiny universe fans can hold in their hands. The announcement arrived with the kind of playful, hand-drawn aesthetic that has become something of a signature for Dio-related content in recent years. Soft pencil-style linework, a warm cream background, and scattered star doodles frame the three characters in a way that feels intimate and personal rather than overly polished or corporate. Dio's figure stands front and center, dressed in a cozy navy hoodie emblazoned with a simple D, and paired with black shorts and sneakers, capturing that same understated, boy-next-door charm he's known for both on stage and in variety appearances. To his left, ZZirang-e lies curled up and drowsy, embodying the laid-back energy that has made the character an instant favorite among fans who follow Dio's more lighthearted content. To his right, Charles stands with an exaggerated pout, arms akimbo, radiating a comedic seriousness that has turned this little peach heart into something of a mascot in its own right. For those less familiar, ZZirang-e and Charles aren't random additions. These characters have organically become part of the extended Dio universe through prior merchandise lines and pop-up events, where fans first fell in love with their distinct personalities. ZZirang-e represents rest and comfort, while Charles brings a dose of dramatic flair, and together with Dio, they create a dynamic that fans have come to find genuinely funny and heartwarming. This new figure package builds on that established affection, giving collectors a fresh way to bring the trio home in three-dimensional form rather than just through pouches, keyrings, or printed goods from earlier releases. What makes this particular announcement stand out is the timing and format. Rather than being tied to a pop-up store visit or a single retail location, this appears to be structured as a pre-order event, meaning fans across different regions and countries will have a fair shot at securing the set without needing to be physically present anywhere specific. That kind of accessibility matters enormously to an international fanbase like EXOL, many of whom have historically had to rely on proxy shopping services, resale markets, or friends traveling to Korea just to get their hands on limited-run Dio merchandise. A structured pre-order window changes that dynamic, at least for this release, and gives fans breathing room to plan their purchase rather than scrambling the moment items go live. The pre-order period itself has been clearly outlined. Sales open on July 2 at 3 p.m. KST and remain active until July 19 at 11:59 p.m. KST. That's a comfortably long window by K-pop merchandise standards, where many limited releases sell out within minutes or hours of going live. Whether this extended timeframe reflects a larger production run, a different sales model, or simply BLITZWAY's approach to giving fans more flexibility, it's a welcome change for anyone who has experienced the anxiety of refreshing a checkout page while a server crashes under demand. Figure packages like this one occupy an interesting space in K-pop fandom culture. Unlike photo cards or light sticks, which are tied directly to comebacks or tours, character figures like this tend to reflect a more personal, almost narrative side of an idol's public persona. They're less about promoting an album and more about celebrating the small, recurring elements of an idol's personality that fans have picked up on over time, whether that's a running joke, a nickname, or in this case, a pair of fictional companions that have become shorthand for specific traits fans associate with Dio. This kind of merchandise often ends up meaning more to collectors precisely because it isn't tied to a commercial cycle, but instead feels like an extension of inside jokes shared between an idol and his fandom over the years. It's also worth noting the craftsmanship signaled by the preview art itself. Figure packages, especially those produced by dedicated entertainment merchandise studios, typically go through multiple rounds of sculpting, coloring, and quality testing before reaching fans, which is part of why release timelines for actual shipping tend to stretch out well beyond the pre-order window. Fans who've collected similar items in the past will likely recognize this pattern: an initial announcement and pre-order phase, followed by a production period that can last weeks or months before the physical figures actually arrive. Patience, in other words, will likely be part of the experience for anyone jumping on this pre-order, but based on past releases in this same character line, the wait has generally been considered worth it by those who received earlier ZZirang-e and Charles items. For EXOL specifically, this release lands at a moment when DO-related content has been especially abundant, between his television appearances, brand activities, and ongoing group promotions. Merchandise like this figure package tends to function almost like a companion piece to that broader wave of content, giving fans a tangible way to celebrate everything happening around him without needing it to be tied to a specific comeback or tour stop. It's the kind of release that rewards longtime followers who've watched these characters develop a life of their own across several merchandise drops, while still being accessible and charming enough to pull in newer fans who might be encountering ZZirang-e and Charles for the first time. As with most limited pre-order merchandise, interested fans are encouraged to keep an eye on official BLITZWAY entertainment channels for further details on pricing, shipping regions, and any additional variants that might be introduced before or during the sales window. Given how quickly information can shift in the K-pop merchandise space, whether due to demand adjustments, added bonus items, or updated shipping logistics, staying close to official announcements will be the best way to avoid missing any updates tied to this release. For now, though, the reaction across the fandom has been overwhelmingly warm. There's something disarming about seeing an idol reimagined in such a soft, chibi-style form, paired with characters that carry so much accumulated affection from past releases. It's a reminder that fandom merchandise, at its best, isn't just about owning something rare, but about holding onto a small piece of the personality and humor that made fans fall for an artist in the first place. With Dio, ZZirang-e, and Charles now available as a set, EXOL has one more way to keep that connection close, sitting quietly on a shelf as a tiny, smiling reminder of everything this trio has come to represent.